So I had said that, there's always diversity in religious traditions. There's always plurality, and certainly so with Hinduism. Um, but as you get into reading the synopsis of the Mahabharata, if you read the Bhagavad Gita, um, I want to help you see these kind of core things. Here are these four sort of realities, um, really wrapped up into one, Dharma, which we'll talk about at length here. But Dharma, Karma, Samsara, and Moksha. I'll come back to Dharma because it's going to be my focus. Karma is the idea of you get what you deserve. You reap what you sow. Good actions bring back good. Bad actions bring back bad. Um, but there are difficulties for this within Dharma. We'll see that in the Mahabharata synopsis. Um, Samsara is this idea of a cycle of life, death, rebirth, life, death, rebirth. This ongoing and ongoing cycle. It's seen as a trap. It's seen as a problem. You don't desire to be stuck in samsara. A lot of Westerners, we think of, reincarnation. You come back in a better life. You can be happier. The point within Hinduism is not to come back in a better place. The point is to escape the cycle itself. The only reason for needing to be in a better place is that it may give you the position from which you can escape. And that escape is called moksha. It's a kind of release into union with the ultimate reality, with this ultimate reality. Brahman is sometimes seen as the one god. Sometimes it's seen that all the gods and goddesses are just manifestations of Brahman. Others see Brahman as this kind of impersonal, not necessarily a god, but maybe a transpersonal or a beyond personal being that is the ultimate. So you have this often a three-faced. He's not usually worshipped as himself. Sometimes Vishnu or Shiva might be seen as a manifestation of Brahma. This cosmic power, the divine reality. It's something that you're to apprehend, to kind of be joined with, is the objective. Now, how does this work? In the Hindu context, reality, really the whole of reality, the sum total of the way the world is this wheel of Dharma. Dharma is often translated as duty or law or morality. But in reality, Dharma means so much more than that. It means the way the world is. It simply is what is. It's sort of inescapable. It's the chaos is the opposite of it. It's the cosmic order. And so we see in the Mahabharata, especially the Bhagavad Gita, that here's this epic story about a war between two parts of a family for control, for kingship, and you find that Krishna is not just this, noble chariot driver. Krishna is actually the god Vishnu incarnate, who is in the Bhagavad Gita seen as the ultimate, possibly impersonal reality, personalized. So Krishna becomes a kind of a manifestation of aspects of the god, because Vishnu is embodied as Krishna. Vishnu is these aspects of Brahman. But when he steps into the story, it shows that this isn't about family rivalry or a bet gone bad or greed or merely greed. It's about universal consequences, in some sense, that the idea that the whole of the universe, the order of the cosmos, depends upon you doing what you're supposed to do. This is the debate that we'll see in the Bhagavad Gita that's at the heart of the Mahabharata. So in the synopsis, you see the importance of Dharma. There's this one figure who's not really being active. He's being cheated, but he won't stand up. He's going to keep his word. His social duty, his righteousness, or the order, his moral obligation, right? He's going to hold to a promise even though he was cheated into that promise. Drupadi can't conceive why, being the righteous ones, that her group is suffering. She's corrected that you should never, you'll see this as you read the Bhagavad Gita as well, that you should do duty for the sake of duty, not because of what you're going to get out of it. Karma does say that you'll receive what you sow, but if you're interested in what you receive, then you're not really sowing according to Dharma. You're too focused on your own greed. If you want the eternal fruits of kind of Dharma and Karma, then you have to set aside any desire. It becomes the idea of a dispassionate commitment to uphold Dharma. There's this idea of fate. We have to deal with this idea of fate, and how does fate relate with cosmic order? How does fate relate to the gods? How does fate relate to chance? How does fate relate to Adharma? These are the big questions. So you have this one warrior who's willing to cheat to win. His father tells him that's not how, the warrior doesn't cheat to win. The warrior is to be an honorable warrior, to do his duty in the right way. But this son understands the duty of the warrior is to win, no matter what, whether it's abiding by Dharma or Adharma. And he may seem like the villain at some point, and yet Krishna, the embodiment of the god Vishnu, will at some point say, sometimes we maintain Dharma by Adharma, the opposite of Dharma. So you have this questioning. The Mahabharata doesn't give you a lot of answers. It raises a lot of philosophical questions. Why do good people suffer? Why is that the case? You have Karna, who says, knowers of Dharma have always said Dharma protects those devoted to Dharma. In other words, the order of the universe, if you do good, you'll get good. But his wheel on his chariot sinks in the mud, and it's kind of symbolic of the wheel of his fate, the wheel of his destiny is sunk in spite of all his devotion to do what's right. He finds himself not protected. So which brings us to what motivates our actions, what should motivate our actions. And the Bhagavad Gita, which you're going to read in full, really addresses this, that our motivations should be simply to fulfill our Dharma within our place in the social order, within our caste. So in the story of the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna doesn't want to fight because he's fighting his family and friends on the other side. Plus he'll lose family and friends on his own side. And yet, unlike in kind of a Judeo-Christian sense where everybody answers to sort of the same idea of right and wrong, this universal moral code, there's this sense within the Bhagavad Gita that the moral code is to uphold your place in the caste system, in the universal order embodied by your caste. So if you're a warrior, you have to go to war, even if it's against friends and loved ones. You have to kill, because you need to realize from this perspective that really ultimately the body is a sort of it's an illusion. Stuff is illusory, so it's not real, and at points Krishna will say this, that the wise person knows that killing and being killed are nothing. That what matters is to do your duty, and that's it. Your duty. You're a warrior. you have to stick with your duty and do that. So that's sort of central to this system and this understanding. We'll delve into how deep that goes more, and we'll ask some questions about that. That will be kind of one of the driving factors for reform movements that we look at.